Surfing, and you're back with us now. We welcome State winning 35-29 in Bloomington, Indiana. So the pollsters will have a field day with that, won't they, Chris?
They certainly will.
But back to this one, we've got a lot of time left. 7:06 in the fourth quarter, and a tie ball game at 23.
Shotgun formation. Here comes the blitz. Jackson is wide open. Brought down. A good tackle there by Grady Brown as he was one-on-one with Zach Jackson.
He runs great patterns, and it seems like every pattern is different. That was almost like a hook pattern, but instead of turning to the inside, he turned to the outside. Makes the catch. Defense slips down, mostly because of the quality of the cuts that he makes back to the football.
42-yard line of Littlestown is the spot.
Zach Jackson has his career-high receiving game today.
Evans, right side. Not much, boy, I tell you. How many times have we called Sean Miller's name today, number 55 for Littlestown?
Done a great job. That's Littlestown defense has done well here in the second half. They have not allowed Suburban to score, but Suburban's got to be feeling very positive about their game condition right now as they have the ball just inside the Littlestown 40 with just a little over 6 minutes to go. Ideally, Milt Bushy would like to just control this football and get a couple more first downs before scoring. And Littlestown, of course, looking for the turnover and the stop.
Weinrich, pressure on, looking downfield and through the hands of Jeremy Fry. Intended for Stewart, and Weinrich picking himself up off the ground after that throw. Dangerous pass once again.
Surprised they went so deep. They had some guys open in short patterns, and much tougher to see on the other side of the field. Gregera coming out of the backfield was wide open in the flat.
3rd and 7, and now you almost gotta think about Zach Jackson in one of those crossing patterns, Craig. It's been the bread and butter of York Suburban here all afternoon.
Either that or where Drew Chronister clears out and Stewart comes out to the flat. Either one of those they've gone to a lot today.
And the delay give to Gregera, and a flag flies late. But I'll tell you what, I think it was a good call, and it's going to be a clip against York Suburban.
And you almost have to think Littlestown will take the yardage. Although this, you could. Yeah, I think against a good passing team, they're going to take the yardage.
Clipping in the offense, decline, 4th down.
I'm surprised by that. I think I would have taken the yardage there.
It's a tough call there because you know that Suburban is not going to punt it here, and they certainly have the weapons to get an 8 to 7-8 yard pass completed.
Well, the play comes in from the sideline, and we'll see what it is.
I don't know. I would have taken the penalty because you would have taken 15 yards. You would have taken them out of there. I just think that was an interesting call by refusing that and forcing Suburban to a 4th and 7, 4th and 8.
Yeah, because 15 yards there is going to push Suburban back across the midfield stripe, Craig. And I think not only are you battling trying to stop the Trojans, but you got to think about field position with just 5:44 remaining here.
This fourth quarter of action being brought to you in part by Murph's Study Hall, featuring 2 large screen TVs, pool, and videos, located at 850 Jessup Place in York. Call 848-4030, and by Murph's Other Suds Laundromat, located at 830 Jessup Place, directly beside Murph's Study Hall, featuring free coffee and tea, daily newspapers, and color TV. Fully attended, open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. Murph's Other Suds Laundromat.
Well, Zach Jackson has 10 catches for 146 yards today. The 10 catches, a career high for him. Coming up on WSPC Cable 4, the 1994 Easter Seals Cable-thon, Saturday, December 3rd. That's a new date. Coming to you live here on Cable 4, noon to midnight, only on WSPC. 4th down for the Trojans, and offensive line movement on the right side. And that may tip Coach Milt Bushy's hand to go for the punt now.
Good ball. False start.
Well, this will be interesting, though. Is he going to decline it? Or is he going to take...
Well, it's a dead ball, so I don't think
I'm sorry. That's right. So you go back 5. This is a tough call because if the ball rolls into the end zone, it's back out to the 20. But he's gotten good coverage today on his punt teams, much better than they've gotten from the kickoff teams.
Littlestown setting up the return. Not much pressure. A low kick. Willow fumbles it and falls back on it. Wow. At the 20.
Come on, Tom, run on the field, go! 20-yard line. First and 10 for the Thunderbolts.
Well, 5:44 to go, Craig.
This is it. Well, last quarter of the last game.
Why not have it be right down to the wire?
Be interesting to see if Littlestown stays pretty much on the ground. They've been successful. They've had a number of passes intercepted today, so they don't necessarily want to risk that, but they've got a lot of ground to cover, 85 yards. Check that, 80 yards.
Fry, pressure coming. The pass is incomplete. Evans had it, and then Gregera had 2 swipes at it, but nobody could pull it in.
I was going to say, they picked that one off, and we've seen 2 of the best interceptions of the year today. Evans one-handed one, and now watch this one.
Good pressure by Suburban here.
Yeah, and you can see the defensive backpedaling, and you know he's going to get there because of the way the ball hangs. Now there, he's got it. He tips it up in the air. Tip drill. Here comes Gregera. He's got it in his left hand. Oops. No hand.
So all that for an incompletion. 2nd and 10. Fry, the pitch to Barbagallo. He breaks the tackle of Gregera, still on his feet, and has a Littlestown first down. And Gregera at the 20 on his knees thought he had the big Littlestown fullback.
He knows he should have had him, but I'll tell you what, that would have even been a bigger play if Gregera wouldn't have broken through there and slowed him down a bit, because that whole side of the defense is sealed off. There's nothing but white shirts. Now watch Gregera. He comes through and slows him down enough to bring some pursuit over. Hostetler probably should have been thinking about blocking upfield rather than turning around to see where Barbagallo was.
Wilson Tarbert finally ended up bringing down Barbagallo, but it's a first down for Littlestown. Up the middle. The big fullback rumbles over the 35 out to the 36. Pickup of 2, so it'll be 2nd and 8. We're under 4.5 minutes to go. One thing we haven't thought about, Craig Smith, is Foot Locker player of the game in a tie situation. I don't think we've had that one.
We have not, but we'll give that some thought over the next 4 minutes and 6 seconds.
Fry, play fake, looking for Hostetler. Oh, and just through his hands. He had to make the adjustment as the ball sort of came over the opposite shoulder from where he was looking, but once again, behind the York Suburban defense.
Almost had it, and there's a kid that's been involved in a lot of plays today, Nathan Hostetler. And you know, with a little bit of cloud cover now in the west, Chris, the sun is just going to start fading on us here, and we're not going to end in darkness by any means, but you can tell the clocks have changed.
Here comes the blitz. Gregera picked up, across the middle, and great catch by Willow as Zach Jackson hit him right at the moment the ball got there, and credit Terry Willow for hanging on.
And I guess, again, if you can learn from game films, and if Zach Jackson had this to do over again, we talk about this a lot. Young players, you need to rotate to the ball in the passing lane, not at the man. And Zach Jackson, I don't know if maybe he didn't see the receiver coming into that area. He rotated right at the man and made contact, but the catch was made.
1st and 10, York Suburban 43-yard line. Barbagallo gets to the corner, down near the 30, and I believe another Littlestown first down.
So the clock would have kept running because he stayed in bounds, but the official waved for the chains to be moved, so that'll stop the clock. And so Suburban now reeling one more time on their heels for the second week in a row towards the end of the game. Quick pitch there, good seal blocks to the outside, and it takes the backers and the defensive backs to stop that play.
Fry, the play fake to Willow, throws it across the middle, incomplete. Good pressure that time. Matt Schaefer, number 62.
We've called his name a number of times. That was really good pressure.
Really forced Fry to throw it hurriedly and underthrown, incomplete.
And Matt Schaefer, one of those 7 seniors on this team, showing that he wants to have one more shot of winning this game and hates to go out with a tie with 3:03 on the clock.
You know, it's all kind of fitting here, isn't it, Craig? Tie football game, the sun setting in the distance on our final game.
It is indeed. Well, if you're on defense right now, 3 minutes looks like an eternity.
Yep.
When you're on offense, 3 minutes looks like it can't possibly be enough time.
Barbagallo still on his feet inside of the 25. And the big 6'3", 190-pound fullback is chewing up the yards in big chunks right now. He picks up 8 on that carry, so it's 3rd down and 2. 2:40 and counting.
And certainly 2 down territory here, 3rd and 4th. They'll go for it. 3 timeouts unofficially for Suburban left, 2 unofficially left for Littlestown.
Barbagallo trying to surge forward. I don't think he got it. Good job right at the line of scrimmage. John McMaster, number 54, the first guy in on the tackle, and it's going to be short of the 1st down. Talk about a big play.
You know, this is the kind of situation, depending on what your gambling instincts are as a coach, everybody's going to jam the middle on this thing. And if you can dump a little pass to a big tight end right across the middle.
I still think you got to go to Barbagallo and try and grind it out here.
You got to figure that.
Under 2 minutes to go. 4th down for the Thunderbolts. Second back is Willow, and he has the 1st down. And let's think a little bit here, Craig. Sean Miller, the kicker for Littlestown, pretty good leg. 1:40 to go. We'll be back with all the last-minute action right after this.
Hi, I'm Governor Bob Casey. I invite you to join the American Heart Association's
Fry. Incomplete, intended for Willow. Good pressure once again by York Suburban's Adam Bricker.
That was amazing because Terry Willow almost got that ball. It almost looked like it bounced up off his chest, and it almost looked like Krabs was able to get it. But it was called incomplete by the official, and I think correctly so. 2nd
down, 1:15 remaining on the clock. So the incompletion will stop the clock, and it's kind of interesting situation because I don't know if Littlestown can really run the football in from here given the time that's left, and they haven't really been very consistent with the passing game today.
But I think they've got to go to Krabs here sooner or later. If they're going to throw the football, you want the biggest receiver on the field to have a shot at it.
Barbagallo tries the left side, and see how slowly the York Suburban defenders are getting up. Boy, it's I think Littlestown and their physical size and strength starting to wear on York Suburban a little bit. 50 seconds to go, and the clock is running. 3rd down and 4 from the 17. Fry, straight drop. Looking to the end zone for Willow, and he has it for the Littlestown touchdown. Well, I talked about the inconsistency of the Littlestown passing attack, but Jeremy Fry threw the perfect lob pass in the corner of the end zone to Terry Willow for the go-ahead touchdown for Littlestown.
Willow just made a great reception on that. Much as Zach Jackson has done all day long, Willow just kept running until he met up with the football, and he still had to get his body underneath it to make that catch for the touchdown. Tremendously demoralizing for the Trojans with just 34 seconds left on the clock.
The extra point by Sean Miller is good, so just 34 seconds remain on the clock, and Littlestown leads it 30-23.
It's a good throw. Boy, deep in that corner. I mean, everybody was kind of rolling to the other side. Willow had to make a great catch there in order for that to be 6 points for the Thunderbolts. So for the second week in a row, lightning strikes the Trojans.
And you're right, Craig. This is going to be a tough one for York Suburban to swallow if they can't come back here. 13 plays. Boy, what an impressive drive when you're up against it, Craig. 80 yards, almost 5 minutes off the clock, and the touchdown pass from Jeremy Fry to Terry Willow.
And what's really also impressive is what Littlestown has done here in the second half. They have held Suburban to no points while scoring 23
right
of their own.
Right. Number 35 trying to get out of bounds, and not doing so was Matt Stewart. Stewart had the right idea trying to get out of bounds, but the clock will stop nonetheless with 26 seconds to go, and York Suburban with 2 timeouts remaining needs a miracle here.
Well, they certainly have the strike offense to do it. The question is, can they get the protection?
Let's go.
Straight drop by Weinrich. Jackson breaks a tackle and gets out to the 40-yard line. And really, I think that's what York Suburban has to hope for, is to get the ball to Zach Jackson and see if he can break a couple tackles.
Right, he's been limping, though. He's got pretty banged up today. He got on that one return, he was slow getting up, and they had to help him off. You know, they got to mix it up here a little bit since they have some timeouts, and they only have 17 ticks, which is not a lot.
Weinrich, straight drop, good protection. Down the field has Jackson, 35, 30, 25, inside of the 20-yard line with 8 seconds to go.
Oh, my. Oh, my. How could they let him that open? He just ran right by the defensive back. I think it would be in the best interest of Suburban to use a timeout here. Jackson is a hurting pup.
He really is hurting, but what a gamer and what a pass by Eric Weinrich. And now they're down to the Littlestown 17 with 8 seconds to go. Paul, I think Suburban has one more timeout remaining. So there's a possibility of running 2 plays here.
2 plays, but they've really got to be quick. And now I think the onus continues on the offensive line of Suburban to protect Weinrich and not hold.
Right. And here you get a look at it.
I just couldn't believe how they let him. I mean, there was no safety rotating over to the side that Zach Jackson was on. And look at that. He just burns down the sidelines right past the corner. Number 21, Terry Willow, who just made the touchdown catch. It's going to be a lot of tired kids.
I'll tell you, this has been quite a football game, and wow.
You know, Coach Milt Bushy said to us, last week's game against West York was better to watch than the Penn State-Ohio State game. This one's been a good one, too.
Right. Well, here we go. 8 seconds remaining from the 17-yard line. Weinrich, the blitz is coming across the middle and picked off by Jeremy Fry in the end zone. And that interception is going to seal the Littlestown victory. Boy, I tell you what, Zach Jackson is in the end zone being helped up by Willow. What an effort by both of those two guys, and really a lot of people on this field today.
Boy, Weinrich really gets hit as he releases, but he throws a fairly strong pass. Unfortunately, he throws it into triple coverage. Well, many players contributed today, Chris. It would really be unfair to signal out any one, but Zach Jackson had a great game.
Yep.
Career high receiving game. Jeremy Fry handled the offense when he had to for Littlestown.
And that's going to do it. The Littlestown Thunderbolts exhausted, but they come away with a 30-23 victory over the York Suburban Trojans. Back to Suburban in just a minute.
There's a place to give it everything, to achieve your goals, to realize your greatest dreams, and no matter what happens, not to let anyone take them from you. Foot Locker has helped me get to that place.
There's a place to take everything you've learned and take it someplace no one's ever been before. Yeah, Foot Locker knows all about that place.
You know, I've been watching a lot of television lately, and I've been seeing a lot of commercials for car dealers. Now, if just half of these old boys believe just half of what they say in the advertising, hey, they're better qualified for this job than I am.
That's why I always tell people to buy their cars and trucks from Apple Chevrolet Geo, where today, 0 down, zilch, nada, zip, nothing down puts you into any gold check used car.
And that, my friend, is no bull.
Free OJ!
It's the biggest news in town. Maple Donuts is giving away free orange juice right now with the purchase of a dozen donuts. Choose from 58 fantastic varieties, all freshly baked, frosted, and filled to Maple Donuts quality you can see standards. When you buy a dozen donuts at Maple Donuts, you always get a baker's dozen. That's right, 13 donuts in every dozen. And right now, you also get free orange juice. This is really big news. So get to Maple Donuts right now and get your free OJ today.
$5.50 for a copy of our brochure, Training for Now and the Future.
Welcome back to Dick May Field, where the final horn has sounded on the final Saturday of the regular season. And there you see the Trojans walk off after meeting with head coach Milt Bushy. Very disappointed for the second week in a row as they come up on the short end of a 30-23 score versus Littlestown. Three players really stuck out today for Suburban. Tomas Gregera, Dan Evans with that great one-handed interception, but it was not to be. And so we have selected our Foot Locker player of the game to be Zach Jackson. 12 receptions, 197 yards, both career highs for Zach Jackson. He'll be back next year. His counterpart, Willow for Littlestown, had 4 catches for 84 yards and the winning TD on this, the final Saturday. Chris Bupp.
Well, that'll do it for this 1994 season on Cable 4. Thanks for joining us throughout the season. For our broadcast partner, Craig Smith, statisticians Paul Goodemone and Bo Rule, I'm Chris Bupp. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in January for basketball.
WSPC Cable 4 High School Football has been brought to you by the York Newspaper Company, featuring the Weekly Record, York Sunday News, the York Dispatch, and the York Daily Record. Maple Donuts, Red Lion Chevy Geo Oldsmobile, Desco, John H. Myers & Son, Apple Chevrolet Geo, the Yorktown Business Institute, East York Chiropractic, Hanover Honda, Consolidated School of Business, Griffith Smith Menswear, and Foot Locker.
The things you're about to see and learn will astound you. Don't try any of them at
That's because Toyota quality saves money. And now
looks like there's no way this ball can be completed, but
Jackson closes.
Right.
And Hostetler, I'm telling you, he's right there.
Yeah, look at that. So York Suburban with the big play in the Littlestown territory at the 28. Gregera, the second back, tries the left side. Not much there as Littlestown closes it down pretty quickly. You know, and this is really what we're seeing, Craig. We're seeing these sophomore quarterbacks that are really junior quarterbacks now. We saw it in Justin Phillips with Redline, and now we're seeing it with Eric Weinrich here today. And these guys are starting to come of age, and I'm sure that Coach Milt Bushy's standing over there in the sideline thinking, boy, I got this guy for 2 more years.
Right, and if he develops some diversity in his receivers, because you know Jackson's going to start to draw double and perhaps triple coverage, he's going to be really, really tough.
The pitch to Gregera. The reverse is fumbled, and Littlestown is going to have it.
Boy, that is a big first turnover for York Suburban because they were putting together a nice drive.
Right. And the play was set up because I looked on the other side of the field as Jackson was about to receive the handoff, and they had that thing set up really well.
Boy, he never got the ball. I think that was Tomas Gregera's fault. He lost the handle trying to hand it off with one hand. And, boy, that's a tough turnover there because if Littlestown can strike again, we got a brand-new ball game.
Yep. Fry, straight drop. Looking down the middle. Incomplete, intended for Nathan Hostetler. Drew Chronister and Zach Jackson there on the coverage. That was close to being pass interference there, too, because I thought Chronister almost got there and made contact before the football.
Right, he's coming for behind, but he's going for the football. And his body's going to make some contact, and they make a no call here.
That was a good play. So it's going to be 2nd down and 10 at the 35. Blitz coming up from Gregera, and he gets Fry, but a good call, incomplete pass as Fry's arm had started forward.
I think that was a great defensive call. I felt Suburban's got to start getting some pressure on Jeremy Fryer. He's going to stand back there and pick out his big receivers.
And really, it might have been the first time we saw the blitz cover from York Suburban, and Gregera, you see, gets him from behind.
Well, I'm sure Gregera had a little bit of extra incentive there, knowing that he didn't want to fumble that reverse opportunity on offense, so let's make a big contribution on defense, and that's exactly what number 24, Tomas Gregera, did.
3rd down and 10 for Littlestown. Hostetler in motion. The pass to Kraft, boy, Gregera sticks him just as he receives the pass. Maybe a pickup of a yard or 2, but the York Suburban defense really did the job in that series.
Well, and the downside of being 6'6" is when you reach for the ball up, you're a big target for guys closing on you, and I think Gregera went right after his number and took him down. So the fumble does not cost York Suburban, except for some field position.
Good snap and a nice high spiraling kick that Jackson's going to let go. He better get out of the way. And it rolls down to about the 22-yard line.
He really evaluated that situation.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, I think when they look at the films, Coach Milt Bushy's going to tell Zach Jackson, catch that football.
Yeah, they lost about 5 to 7 yards on that by letting it hit. And it was high enough that he had plenty of time to make a fair catch call.
Right. So now, Craig, it's just about 7 minutes ago here in the 3rd quarter. Littlestown put the big play up to get themselves back in this football game, and now it's sort of starting to become a chess match here. Field position is becoming very crucial. Weinrich, the drop, as a receiver, Matt Stewart slows down and makes the catch out near the 35, enough for a Suburban 1st down.
Tell you what.